Oh, you damn right. OB live on a Friday, and the SEC is going to 9 conference games starting in 2026. No, really. Actually, they're not just discussing it. Apparently, it's a thing. There's a graphic with info. We're going to dig into it a lot today. Let's show you the proof. Here we go. Blue and yellow everywhere. 9-game conference schedule, 4 main points, single standings, no division structure. That's a positive, I would argue. Each school plays 3 annual opponents, focusing on maintaining traditional rivalries. We'll talk about that, Texas fans. I think I know who you want. Each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools. But how are you going to rotate? Well, each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away in a 4-year stretch. I feel like we need to have the hallelujah chorus. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? Jump in the chat and tell me what you think. I get a feeling that you Texas fans dig this. I get a feeling that you like it. I get a feeling that you're looking forward to it. Let me know what you think. We'll start with those rivals. Who do you want as the rivals? Is it the obvious 3? What about some non-conference games? We'll get into that discussion. We will discuss all of it coming up. And to answer this question, yes, Tracy, Ketch is headed back from El Paso. As soon as I saw this scheduling thing, I knew I could fly solo because I got a lot to say about the schedule stuff. But thank you for checking in, and safe travels to Ketch. And thank you guys in El Paso for showing Ketch such a good time. If you were there with Ketch last night, apparently it went late into the night. Let me know if you have any details. That would be great. Oh my God, I hope that's not true. Dadgummit, did that happen? Jeff Hardy? Jeremy, I did not want to start the show that day. One of the greatest high flyers ever. TLC match lives forever. He's one of he's the godfather of the Daredevils for me. I can't believe that happened. I hope that's not real, but if it is, I'm going to trust you on that, and rest in peace to the great Jeff Hardy. And yes, Ray, poncho shirt is there. Yep. The Pancho, the old Pancho shirt. All right. So it is done. It's going to happen. And basically, today's show is about a couple things. One, we're going to dig a little further into this idea of, 9 conference games, but I'm also not letting the SEC get away with just saying, hey, we're going to 9 conference games. This is awesome. We're moving forward. Stop. I'm not letting that happen because I've been bitching at this conference for years about how it hides its football teams, about how it creates 9 and 10 win teams that really aren't real. So we're going to call them out for what this really is. But in the process, I'm going to end up thanking you, Texas fans. I'm going to thank your program, because your program, to me, is what an SEC team should have been, what an SEC blue blood should have been all these years, but it frankly has not been. So we're going to dig in. I want you guys to give me your reaction. Do you love the 9 games? Do you like a different idea? We got some comments coming in already. All the ACC Big Ten bottom feeders phones getting blown up by SEC teams as we speak. Yeah. So the other part of it, and I can't remember, is it in the part that I laid out there or not? Hold on. Let me see. Let me double check something here. No. It's actually not in there. So there's another, give me 1 second, because there's another graphic that I need to grab here. There's a couple more things right there. Okay. There was one thing that was left out of there. I'll get to it. But here's great news to start with, and then we'll get to the rival stuff. Great news here is the rotation of teams, and that you're going to play everybody in a 4-year run. In a 4-year stretch, you're going to play every team in the SEC, and you're going to play at every team in the SEC. That's awesome. That's just not what they have done. That's not what they've done. And I looked up a few games to give you an example, just as a random example. Alabama and Georgia. Here's the time frame I looked at. I wanted to be fair because I don't want to let you, Texas, and Oklahoma bail these teams out. So what I looked at are the 10 years before Texas and Oklahoma joined. And what were they doing really in the SEC? So from 2014 to 2023, Alabama and Georgia, regular season, twice. Georgia and LSU, one time. once as a regular season game. Georgia and A&M, y'all know the answer to this one. It's one time. However you want to look at it. I've heard some say, well, they're protecting the Aggies. I don't know if that's it. I think they're protecting Georgia more than anything else. I mean, Bama lost at College Station in 21? LSU's lost there a couple times. You're telling me Georgia's one of the badass teams in this conference, but you're not going to send them to the stadium that's got the most seats in the whole conference and is kind of known for being a tough environment? That's silly. A&M played Georgia in 2019 in Athens. And when I found out the game was happening, I thought, I need to go to that. I'm glad I did because it's the only one. And that's the other thing the SEC would do. They'll schedule one game, one time, not a home and home, one game, and then move on. The Aggies played Florida in 2012 and then didn't play them for 7 years. That's the stuff the SEC used to do. Alabama and Florida, regular season, twice from 2014 to 2023. That is what has happened. And I hope this is true. Chris, I'm with you. Hope he's there. I don't know. I hope it's a mistake. So, right, Ray, maybe. And I'm not even making that big an argument on it. I'm just saying that is one of those things that drives me crazy. So now that's not true. Now moving forward, you get to tell the recruits, if you come see us, if you come wear our uniform, if you stay for 4 seasons, you will play everywhere. And they'll all come to you, whether your family's in SEC country, whatever. You're going to see all of it in a 4-year stretch. You'll see Knoxville. You'll see Gainesville. You'll hear the cowbells. You'll hear Sandstorm. You'll go to Tuscaloosa, Auburn. You'll go to College Station. You'll see DKR. All those things. You want to visit Austin? Yeah. All these things will happen in a 4-year stretch. That's awesome. All right. That is great. But here's the other little detail that I think needs to get thrown in. And I just threw this in the text mode before I saw that Anwar had thrown it in. Look at the bottom, though. The bottom's the key here. SEC teams are required to schedule at least one additional high-quality non-conference, high quality for the SEC, non-conference from the ACC, Big 10, or Big 12, or Notre Dame. The SEC will continue to evaluate its policies to ensure the continued scheduling of high-quality non-conference opponents. Now, those last couple hyphenated words, what's that, 3 technical words at the end, that's loaded at the end. That's a loaded comment. High-quality non-conference opponents. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, SEC. But moving forward, I do like that. Now, that rule that the SEC put in, it's only been there a couple years. So let's not flip out and act like the SEC is really asking its team to do it. Okay? Let's not do that. Now, watch what's happening in the chat. You see what's happening? This is starting to happen. Citadel, UMass, Georgia State officially out of the SEC. No more Mercer. The reputation precedes you, SEC, because these fans are too smart. They know what you've done. And we can't let you get away with it before we rip you one more time. I love what you're doing here. And let me be honest here. Let me be honest a little ways into the show. I was wrong about this. I thought the SEC would dig their heels in. I thought they would not change to 9 until somebody forced them. But my opinion is 3 things forced them. 3 things did. Number 1, money. It's going to be a big bucket of money. Number 2, the change in the CFP. And number 3, I do believe that Texas and OU coming in, it forced their hand in a couple ways because they had to rearrange schedules just a little bit. I think those 3 things are really big in this whole discussion. So I think this is a great move. You get to 9. I think everybody should play 9, first of all. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. So now we're going to have one Power 4 conference that plays 8, the ACC, and they're probably bitching about having to think about 9. Everyone should play the same number. We have a template. See these helmets up here? See those helmets up there? Those are the NFL ones. You know what they do for the playoffs? It makes so much sense. They get divisions together, they get sections together, and they play the same number of games in those sections. And then the best teams come together in a playoff format. Some of them are wild cards. Some of them get there by winning that particular section overall. And then they play games and figure out who the champ is. College football is almost there. This is what works their way towards it. Mark's got a great point here too. Again, this is the bag of money. Mark, I think you're right. ESPN hopefully pushed this to happen. It needs to be It needs to be more of, it needs to be more about getting quality games on TV. Not sure how you can dictate high quality. We had a weak SEC schedule that had OU and Florida holding it down. Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. There's, you're going to have the things year in and year out where one team's a little up, one team's a little down. But I think the scheduling part can at least this improves it a little bit, because SEC teams have not been forced to play those teams before these last couple years, where they weren't forced to do it. Take a team like, I'm trying to think, Ole Miss is a good example, because they're not like Georgia where they have an out-of-conference rival. Take Ole Miss. As of last year, this year, every year they've had, they can take all 4 of those non-conference games and schedule just muck. And they have. I didn't look them up for these stats I'm going to give you, by the way. I just picked a different group of teams. But it's that kind of team that's now forced to schedule these games. And I think that's really, really good. Okay, so let me grab a couple quick chats here. First of all, this super chat did come in. $9.99. Chad, yesterday you said Arch might have to go in the draft next year if the Saints have the first pick to play for his hometown. VY made the same decision with the Texans, and it came back to bite him. Big Bird, it's a great point. I hope Arch learns from that and resists. I just think it's going to be tough for him to do that. Theoretically, it could be tough for him to do it, but I would make you can only do this one time argument. I understand it's your hometown team. I would remind him that the NFL is a free agent kind of league. And after your rookie deal, if you want to go play for the Saints, go play for the Saints. Talk to them. But don't give up. Don't give up that last year of college eligibility just to go play for your hometown team. That's the argument I would make. That'd be tough to do, though. If I'm sitting in that seat, that'd be tough to do if he's staring at the number 1 pick. Here's another question we'll get to, because Christopher says now we can play TCU instead of some big name school. Interesting. First off, a little shot at TCU, saying they're not a big name school. Christopher, you bring up a great question. Moving forward, Texas obviously has the Aggies back on their schedule. You guys want anybody else in the state? Like, I can make an argument that doesn't do you any good, that all you're doing is setting up an opportunity for them to upset you. But do you want it? TCU, Baylor, Tech. This year you're hitting what, UTEP or UTSA? One of the two. That kind of school, you want that all the time? Because I like those inside the state stuff with Texas. Do you guys want that as Longhorn fans? Let me know. So here we go. Let's see. ATX Bates, $1.99. One quality non-conference game equals quad one only. Yeah, well, there you go. That is true. So let's take a look here real quick, because these are the ideas when I think of. Let's start with the rivals. This is simple. If you're a Texas fan, we'll look at the rival situation coming up, because I think we all understand what you guys want in that situation. Before I do that, let's start thanking some of our great partners, including Hayes City Store. There's a new dessert out there, kids. Yeah, looks pretty tasty, doesn't it? Hayes City Store out there in Driftwood. Go check them out. That is the dessert that's got my daughter willing to meet my wife and I for a little, little get together, little, hey, empty nest. We'd like to see our college student if you could. We're going to meet at Hayes City Store coming up on Labor Day weekend. Get out there, get your reservation made. You want to do that. It's a nice, popular place, and you're going to find out why. Order anything on the menu. You'll be thrilled. Tell Travis and Tamara we said, hey, tell them you heard about it on Orange Bloods Live at Hayes City Store. All right, let's take a look at it real quick on the rivals. I'll put you at the top, Texas fans, here, because I think this one's simple for you, right? These are the three you want. You want Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas. Now, what I've got in front of you here is an idea I have seen thrown out that covers a lot of the rivalries. Now, as I put in the lower left there, Tennessee, Florida, Arkansas, LSU, Florida, and a couple other LSU games aren't in here. LSU, to me, is easily the hardest team in the SEC to say who should they play every year and what else do you do. Like, you cannot fit them all in. LSU does not have just 3 teams I want to see them play. They've got like 5 or 6, because I dig LSU Auburn and I dig LSU Arkansas for the boot. If you got a big old trophy like that, shouldn't you have them play them? But in this version of it, they wouldn't. But I'm assuming that's what you guys want. Like, I don't know that we don't need to discuss that one too much. I think it's obvious. If y'all had somebody else, please let me know. But I have yet to hear a Longhorn fan tell me anything but that. Plus, if those are your three rivals right now, I'm not saying it can't change, but y'all kind of dig those three games right now, don't you? I mean, you won them last year. Didn't you? Yeah. You might win them all this year. You're going to be picked to win them all this year. By the way, did you check out orangebloods.com this week? My 2%er article, column, comment. I don't even know what to call it. I threw some stats at you. 1969 and 70 was the last time that Texas beat those three rivals in back-to-back seasons. Obviously, the conference stuff messed with it, but that's the kind of thing you'd want. I'm assuming that's what you want. I haven't seen this. Really? Okay. Marquette says get the Hogs out of there. Who do you want, Marquette? Who do you want? You want OU, A&M, and who? Throw something in there. I like it. Uh-oh. ATX Bates. I think it's debatable to swap out Arkansas and Georgia at this point. Really? Look at Bates. You're asking for the Dogs every year? I like it. I like it a lot. That does go along with the rep that I'm going to give Texas fans today, because I'm really impressed with some of these numbers that I looked up. Where do you guys see that? I'm telling you, Texas fans, you're going to be so happy. You're going to be so happy when I show you this, because it's crazy to consider what y'all have done in non-conference scheduling. Not conference, non-conference versus some of these other teams. But right now we're sticking with conference. The rivals are there. You rotate the games around. And this also got people thinking about where, if Arch Manning does come back in 26, where do you send them? Texas at Oxford makes sense. Texas at Knoxville at some point would make sense. Did they do them in the same year? I don't know. And I've also seen Texas fans excited about 9 conference games means every year you'll have 4 true home, 4 true road, and the neutral. I'd like that. Georgia will have that. Florida will have that. And if you do have and those are the 2 big ones, obviously, but then other teams would have a 5 and a 4. And then it depends on, that advantage. But we'll have to watch those non-conference schedules to see if you force people to schedule these power teams, the catch there is going to be those power teams are not going to just come to you. Right? You could say to yourself, well, okay, fine. We'll play Kansas or we'll play Northwestern or we'll play whatever. It's like, okay, but you're going to have to go to them too. You're going to have to home those things. The little bitty schools you can push around. You can't push all the power schools around, even if they're at the bottom of the conference. So that's something to think about as you go along. Hooked on the Horns throwing in a 5 spot. Thank you, Hooked. I'd love the 9 conference game schedule and us getting to play OU and A&M, but I don't care at all about Arkansas. There's another one that says Arkansas needs to go. So who would it be? Who do y'all want? Like, I'll give it to you. Let's say that was it. Let's say y'all just heard today that OU and A&M are locks, and let's just say the 2 schools talked and they decided they didn't want it. What would you do? What do you want? I'm trying to think of it. Who would it be for Texas? Like, I mean, y'all tell me. You want Florida? 2 big old state schools just cracking heads every year? That'd be fun. We're going to see that in Gainesville. I can't wait to see those 2 helmets together. You want LSU? You want to go Baton Rouge and Austin back to back? That'd be kind of wild. I mean, Bama be a wild call. Trust me. Speaking as an Aggie fan, having Bama on your schedule every year, you'll notice it. Not telling you how to ask for that one. Here's a couple LSUs. Yeah. Dude, I can't wait. I hate that you Longhorn fans got Baton Rouge taken away from you with that situation. And now we know you get to go. That's just, there's so many beautiful parts to this. I mentioned the player part of it, but the fan experience is great. In a 4-year stretch, you get to go everywhere. So take your pick. Right? Over the next 4 years, you're like, well, I got family in Nashville. I'm going to do at Vandy. Hey, I hear Lexington's great. I'm going to do at Kentucky. But I also want to go to Auburn. And man, I haven't checked out Georgia and all those things. So it's going to be great. Oh, I like this one. Let's do this. Yes, Eddie. Can we do it? Longhorn fans, you want this? The UT Bowl. Winner gets to use pick a copyrighted logo every year. Winner gets the logo for a year. Come on. 40 acres versus Rocky Top. Let's do it. I would love that. I would love it. You know what? I'm really glad I asked this question now. I thought this was obvious. You guys do want to let the Hogs go. You know what? Let's do it. This one's not bad. Paxton, and if you ever get a chance, go see it. Go to South Carolina. Sandstorm is no joke. 80,000. The towels going crazy in Sandstorm. South Carolina figured out something the Aggies never did. The Aggies do the towel thing like on third downs and big moments. So the moment has to create the towels, maybe kickoff and stuff, but there's no music hooked up to it. When they start doing it during Sandstorm, it's a whole nother level. South Carolina that'd be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. I like Tennessee. Yeah, I think this may be the answer. Actually, Tennessee is good. A good shout. I take back what I said. Yeah, let's do that. Can we get Tennessee in? Somebody else says Florida might be the answer. And Uncle Mickey, oh, look at that, says I'm his favorite Aggie. What up, hoser? What up? All right. And then, this is good. Okay, hang on. I don't care about the rivalries. All I care about is the state fair game as a yearly thing. Yep. Hopefully they keep that. That is definitely what I'm hoping. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at this non-conference thing. Trust me, Texas fans, you're going to laugh your ass off on this one. But first, let's remind you about Texas Card House. I'm headed out to TCH Social Austin this afternoon to double-check some technical things and double-check on the watch party stuff. 6 locations, including the great one right there next to the aquarium on 183. 1 month of free club membership, 2 hours of free poker play. All you have to do is mention Orange Bloods when you check in there or any of the other locations in Texas. And remember, online poker is at hijackpoker.com. Anywhere in the state of Texas, you can play. Get it on the device you want, scan that QR code, and get that $20 bonus when you sign up. Hope to see you guys out at TCH Social Austin. We'll get you more info next week on maybe any specials. I'm going to ask about specials today, and we'll see what we got going on there. So definitely come make a plan to come check us out. All right, Texas fans, here's what I want to show you. All right, I took 5 teams, 5 of them. A&M, LSU, Bama, Georgia, Florida. And I looked at that 10-year window from 2014 to 2023, and I thought, now what were they doing in non-conference? You know how the SEC likes to say, we'll continue to go after quality non-conference opponents. Really? Quality? Is that what you're known for? All right. Who would y'all assume is the worst of those 5? The worst. Think it in your head. I'm going to go reverse order. If you're thinking A&M, no, they're actually not the worst. But it's not great. It's 9 of them in a 10-year span. ACU, UMass, Prairie View twice, Lamar twice, Northwestern State, Nichols, and Western Carolina. That's not the last time you're going to see Western Carolina. You know who's also got 9? Bama does. Chattanooga twice. Austin Prey. Sorry, Austin P. It's actually Austin Prey because they have to pray when they play them. Mercer twice. Western Carolina twice. Citadel and Charleston Southern. Okay, that's 9. Guess who's got 10? The Tigers do. LSU from 2014 to 2023, Grambling, Georgia State, Southern, McNeese twice, Northwestern State, Southeastern Louisiana, great logo, not so good a team, Chattanooga, Jacksonville State, and Sam. Oh, we're not done, though. Florida's got 1 more than they do. 11 of them from 14 to 23. McNeese, Eastern Washington, Sanford, UT Martin, Towson, Charleston Southern, Idaho twice, Northern Colorado, UMass, and Eastern Kentucky. But kids, when we talk about the biggest non-conference fluff schedules of all time, no one in this group can beat Georgia. Check them out. UT Martin, Sanford twice, Charleston Southern twice, Murray State, Austin P, spelled correctly, Middle Tennessee, UMass, Nichols, Southern, and Georgia Southern. Wait a minute. Is that 3 Southerns? Charleston Southern, and Georgia Southern. I don't think that's what they mean when they say Southern exposure. But oh my God, that's what the SEC's been doing, kids, for years. They've been hiding these schedules. They've been hiding teams. And on those weekends when Georgia plays Georgia Southern, they also have a good game to distract you. Sidney Bernstein, Beverly Hills Cop 2, go look up the scene. What can I put here that makes you forget about this? That's what they're doing. And it's so silly. Now, we'll have to see what happens moving forward, because you know what you didn't see from the SEC release? They didn't say you can't play an FCS. That would have been ballsy. That would have actually been gutsy. But they didn't do that. They should have. So now the question's going to be, let's take a team like Georgia. 9 conference games. A forced decent game gets them to 10. Now they have 2 left. 2. But they already played Georgia Tech. I'm assuming they're going to let that other game be Georgia Tech. They still have 2. One will probably be absolute garbage. Hey, Austin Peay, Western Carolina, they're not going to lose your number. Citadel, stay by the phone. I don't think they're all losing your number. And then they'll have one that maybe is in the middle. But here's why you should be proud, Texas fans. I checked in on you and your Red River brothers, and both of y'all kind of need to be proud. First up, here's OU. 2014 to 2023. So this is obviously all Big 12. Arkansas State, Western Carolina, South Dakota. There's 3 of them. You ready for the Longhorns? Ready for y'all? Over a decade of football. How many games did you play that I considered non-conference fluff? I had to dig to find it, and I apologize to the Mean Green. That's it. North Texas. And I may even give you that one if I thought about it. Plus, I threw the future non-conference opponents up here. Y'all know that you've got this. Somebody put it in an Orange Bloods post. Look at what you got on the book. Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame twice. Got to find something for 30 and 31, and Arizona State after that. You guys aren't scared. Y'all aren't scared. You guys have been showing Alabama and Georgia how to schedule non-conference for years. I'm not talking about middle of the conference teams. I'm not talking about lower. Let's focus on the dogs. Let's focus on Bama, Georgia. I'll put LSU in there too. You guys show them how to. I just showed you those 3 combined. What's that number? It's 9 plus 10 is 19 plus Georgia's 12 is 31. 31 games they played together in a decade that are just garbage. They're useless. But now things change. Now it's going to actually change. You know what else changes? Here's what else changes. The CFP, I mentioned them. That's one of the things that's pushing them here. The CFP changes too. They've instituted, they're going to have a strength of schedule component. It rewards you for scheduling a game like Ohio State. It gives you extra credit if you win it, but it also doesn't hurt you as much if you lose it. Now, it looks at that, again, it looks at every circumstance. Like if Bama had gone on the road to Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt had been 10th in the country that day and they beat them, it's different than what we actually saw. So all of those things are a part of this. The expansion of the CFP might happen. SEC feels more comfortable there. So I applaud them for what they're doing, but it's their situation around them that's making them do this. Please don't act like they need to get massive credit for doing what they should have already done. Greg Sankey actually told somebody in the last couple of days, we were talking about this in the Clinton administration. Shut up. If you wanted to do it in the Clinton administration, you'd have done it in the Clinton administration. So stop that mess. You were protecting yourself. Just admit it. Admit what you were doing. Yes, this is exactly it. The SEC gerrymandered their own schedule. Yes, that's exactly what they've been doing. It's crazy. And thankfully now they're getting out of it. Isn't a conference pride team like most SEC teams are. We just chant for Texas. Alan, it's a decent comment too. And I think Bama fans would hope they're like that, and Georgia fans would hope, and LSU fans would hope they're like that. But you guys probably are a little more like that. And through the years, I will give y'all so much credit for your reactions to these stories. Maybe it was because you didn't like the Big 12 as a quality conference, but you would always say, schedule those non-conference games. I think you still believe it. You've always talked about non-conference games, and you're willing to go there. I love this idea. I have talked about it for years and years and years. It's the best idea because it gets you iron sharpening iron. Like take the teams last year that we all thought were on the fence of things. What if Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, who else? Those were the 3 big ones everybody wanted to talk about, right? What if those 3 had to play another SEC game? Okay, that's your litmus test. Can Bama wake up from those 2 embarrassing losses and really show you something like they did against Georgia, like they did against LSU? Well, they got to play another game. Who is it against? I don't know. But what if they had to play it? What if it was Bama and South Carolina that had to play? I think they actually did play last year, but you know what I mean? What if the two teams come together? You're trying to figure out who it is, and it kind of becomes an elimination game. You take those teams and you're adding for half your teams, you are going to add a loss. Like, you got to eat that part. For 8 of your teams, you're adding a loss, but you're adding an SEC win to the rest. That's what the conference has missed all these years. Do you know why? Because they didn't have a real system to feed to. They were feeding to that stupid bowl system where it's like, oh my God, we have to show them as many shiny 9 and 10 win teams and 8 win teams. And oh my God, can we make them a 7 win team? Can we, please? Oh, Mercer's on the phone. Good. Make them a 7 win team because the bowls are going to call. Oh my God, we have to figure this out. Now it's just about a playoff. That's all they have to figure out. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Gabe. Thank you. Appreciate you. I appreciate all of you jumping in the Specs chat. Let's hear from Specs. Get stocked up. You got 8 days to kick, man.
This summer, when the sun scorches and sanity is one sweat beat away from collapse, a hero rises. Specs. Your cathedral of cold cans, your oasis of cool.
Yes, indeed. All right. Celebrating the 9 conference games in the SEC schedule. It will start next season. It's going to be fantastic. Let's see. What is this one here? Maybe a division argument? Break the SEC down into 4 divisions like the NFL, each division being grouped with your traditional rivals, A&M, Arkansas, OU, and Texas. You play your division, rotate playing one division each year. Matt, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea if they wanted to. I like the idea of getting away from division. I like the idea of get away from that division format. Big Ten's done it. I think it's better. SEC's done it. I think it's better. But, you know, this at least gives you that chance. 3 teams, you rotate the 6. I just feel like it's going to be a more representative result. Again, Bama and Georgia have played twice in the regular season, the 10 years before Texas shows up. Like, that is just goofy. It's crazy. And so, to me, there's a lot of reasons I'm glad Texas and OU are in the conference, but I do think it made the SEC kind of straighten up a little bit, try to figure like, whoa, wait, what's going on? Plus the CFP, plus all the money that was generated. They just, you know, it had to be there. All right, let's see. Cody Carpentier, how much money do we have to raise in super chats to keep you here for 3 hours? Cody, Catch does not want me to sit here for 3 hours, so it's going to need to be a lot more than you're sending. It's going to be more than that. More. It's going to need to be a whole lot. You're going to need to. Yeah, it's going to need to be a whole lot. Yeah. All right. There's Cody. An Aggie finally takes down the SEC. Oh, is that like a double kind of a? I think I see what you did there. That's not bad. All right. Here we go. David says we're 1 week away from Scottish Guy. That's what I'm truly excited about. Very possibly, David. I got to double check with Catch. He's still good with Scottish Guy, but I think that that could work. Here's this. Somebody says the 366 is perfect. I like it too. User, whatever the heck that is. Yeah. I like it too. I mean, that's again, 4 years you play everybody and you play at everybody. So you're playing 4 out of 8 years. Right? You're playing every team at least that many times. Half of the time, 1 out of 2, 4 out of 8, whatever it is. So even when you have a rivalry like an LSU Arkansas, let's say they don't make that regular. I think they should for that. Just to the trophy alone is cool. I think it's like one of the heaviest trophies in college sports. I love that. But even that one, okay, it'll be at least every other year. That's great. And then it stretches a little bit, and you have that. I even heard some people say that about the Texas A&M game. They wouldn't have minded if it was just every other year. I'm not in that camp, but I've heard people say it. So I think you're going to have some of those, some of those too. All right. No super chats right now. Appreciate you guys jumping in. No matter how you're watching on a little screen, you're watching on a big screen. Maybe you need a better screen. AV Consultations is the way to do this. They've been in business since '88, all the way back that far, way before, even before the SEC started their current, scheduling mess. AV Consultations has been at work. 255-8678. They will get everything hooked up the way it needs to be hooked up. You want to go security system, inside, outside, the computer systems, making sure it's all hooked up right. Make sure the cords are all put away so the kids don't pull on them, but also so it looks right. This is your place for that. Go to avconsultations.com or call 255-8678. 9 conference games for the SEC starting in 2026. I'm going to just keep saying it to myself all day. It is just amazing. ATX Bates, $4.99. Sorry, I'm not covering Cody's idea. That's Tom G. The SEC finally is saying the words of the great Woody Harrelson. It's time to nut up or shut up. Yeah. You know what it is, Bates? Here's the analogy that I come up with. Ketch and I always appreciate we always appreciate the opportunity to make a Rocky reference. Here's where I think we are. I think we're in Rocky 3, my favorite Rocky movie. I think the Longhorns are Clubber Lang. The Longhorns are that injected energy to make Rocky realize that he probably wasn't fighting the best. Remember when Mickey would set up the fights for him? Yeah, Rocky is Bama. Rocky is Georgia. Rocky is LSU when it comes to non-conference, right? And they set up the tomato cans so he could get his confidence up. But then you come to the beach and Rocky realizes it. And Bama's wife and Georgia's wife and LSU's wife, they all have to talk to him. And eventually they have to admit those teams weren't real, Adrian. Those teams weren't real. It wasn't good. And then eventually she has to get in his face. What are we afraid of? It's the truth. What's the truth? Damn it. All right, I'm afraid. All right. I'm afraid not to schedule Mercer. I'm afraid not to schedule Charleston Southern. I love the coach at Samford. I believe you can do it. Apollo believes you can do it. But you have to find out for yourself. And if you lose, you lose. But you got to schedule Kansas. You got to call Northwestern. You've got to consider Indiana. But at least you lose with class. At least you lose with some integrity. We can live with that. And then Bama says, how'd you get so smart? And she says, I married a fighter. Fight, Bama. Fight, Georgia. Fight, LSU. Texas shows you how to do it. Texas showed up at the press conference and said, yeah, I'm going to show you a real man. Yeah, you need a real man. That's what's going on here in the SEC. ATX Bates. That's it. We're at the end of Rocky 3. We've had the speech on the beach, and somebody's got to schedule better. That's what's happening. That's what's going on. All right. Let's see what else we got. No, there we are. No super chats right now. Get you a little bit of Longhorn stuff. We're 8 days away from the game. Then there's news and notes and info all over the place. It's great. This 9-game conference schedule obviously takes effect next year, but there's stuff obviously coming really, really quickly. Before we do that, let me remind you, I know I've had people asking. Unfortunately, no Brian Jones today either. Ketch is coming back from El Paso. Brian is working hard for CBS, but we are going to be talking to Brian throughout the season. Hopefully we get him next week, man, to talk Texas and Ohio State. And remember, if you want some of that cool merch you've seen Brian wear, there's that sexy model. Go to Real Snow Milk at universitycoop.com. That stuff is available at the famous University Co-op right down there on the drag. Hopefully we'll talk to Brian next week, a guy that covered the SEC for so many years and now is covering the Big Ten for CBS. Who else? Who better to talk to about Texas and Ohio State? We're 8 days away, gang. 8 days away from that game. If you want to throw in a quick chat, we can get that. Just a couple quick notes that I jotted down for Texas. Get to Orange Bloods. The QR code's in the upper left. Get to Orange Bloods. Get to the War Room. Some great notes in there. A couple things stood out. Feels like the Trevor Gooseby thing is not that big of a deal. Hand injury, but not, they think he's good. And it sounds like if there'd been a game, yesterday, today, if there was a game this Saturday, he'd be able to go. So they're taking a look at that. Also, feels like Jaden Chapman has done pretty well when he gets an opportunity. We know they're going to need rotational stuff at offensive line. It's just a truth of the game that you're going to have to deal with. But Gooseby seems like he's good. The other thing I would tell you, Longhorn fans, in a group, remember we go all the way back to one of the early press stuff. It might have been SEC Media Days. It might have been. And Sark was asked which one of his units, which one of his position groups he liked the most, or which one was looking the best, or whatever it was. And he said linebackers first, seeing more and more Ty Anthony Smith stuff. So keep an eye there. Number 26 is that jersey number that you need to learn for Ty Anthony Smith. So obviously there's been, I mean, we know what Anthony Hill is and LaFau and these guys, but apparently Ty Anthony Smith has done enough that he's going to be a part of this thing. And he's really making an impact in practices. That's big. Also for the backup quarterback thing, Anwar in the war room is reporting that Trey Owens is going to have to make a move. And we're really kind of past make a move standpoint. Tomorrow there's a scrimmage, but according to Anwar in the war room, they're treating the scrimmage as like a walkthrough. And the last two scrimmages have been treated as we're battling, we're fighting for positions. So frankly, I don't know if Trey Owens can make a move at this point. Right now, I think it's Caldwell. That seems to be what the reporting is telling us, that it's Matthew Caldwell. If something needed to happen, it's you don't want to talk about it and all, and not going, we got that. But right now, Caldwell, probably the guy. Probably that. Okay, wait, what is this? What is this? Are you guys being, huh? What is that? Oh, is that a Bevo insult, Tyler? That's just low rent. What are you doing? Look, I understand. If you're an Ohio State fan, you're not a live mascot person. I understand that. We're live mascot people. We're animal people in the SEC. We connect. We connect with the animals. We love animals. We like to show off animals. And Bevo's a badass. I don't know if Bevo's making that trip. I would guess he's not. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But there's no need for rudeness. There's no need for rudeness. That does not need to happen. All right. I don't see any other chat. Wait, it was something I marked. Hang on. What is it? Oh, here we go. Cody says, I can tell when someone has Skittles for breakfast. Chad is crushing today. Not that he doesn't every day. Cody, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hey, when you know you're going to be by yourself, you got to go, man. You got to go. I got to have like ends of sentences ready to go. Normally, I don't have to have those. But today, I also got excited about the schedule stuff. I love the scheduling discussions, and I love the idea of the SEC realizing itself. This to me feels like the computer in Terminator, like becoming self-aware. It's not totally there yet, because if they really wanted it, they'd get rid of FCS. But at least they're getting us this far. 9 games, every team, 9 games in conference, plus a game you must schedule against someone we know. And now we'll give you the other 2. So at that point, I think Mercer, Western Carolina, etc., will still be in our world. And I'm going to guess that Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina use their rival that's already outside the conference as that game. I would. That's what I would do. Again, fix it as much as you can, because that's what you do sometimes in the SEC. But that's probably the path. Like South Carolina is the perfect example. Do you really want a 9-game SEC schedule and play Clemson and then schedule like, I don't know, Oklahoma State? That only leaves you one that you have that you can schedule an easy one. So they've got to figure that out. And then for Texas, we will see how they react. How does Texas want to schedule now moving forward? I showed you the big dogs that are already on the schedule. So Longhorn fans, I ask you, to someone asked about TCU earlier, how will Texas structure it? My guess is they're going to do what they've done this year. Ohio State's the big dog. Leave those kind of games in, because that's what they're doing. And then those other 2, just take 2 of their 3. San Jose State, what is it? San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam, right? Some of those. Do you still schedule a Sam, or do you get rid of that one? Do you go San Jose State and UTEP and let those be your 2? Is that the level we're talking about? And I still would, I think Texas has no problem scheduling UTSA or UTEP. My question is, would you go power in conference? Power in state, not in conference. So there's, how many of those teams are there? Tech, Baylor, TCU, SMU. Those 4. Y'all want any of that? Any of that stuff? Like, there's a part of me as an A&M fan that would think that's kind of cool. I'd rather see them based on what they're doing. Like, A&M's got UTSA to start this year. I like that game, but I'd like to see it be SMU. Give me a little Southwest Conference memory. I'd like to see it be TCU. But I don't know if I just, as Texas fans, I don't know if you guys are in that category. Do you think of it as, yeah, is there anybody you'd consider playing? Because if I was you, if I'm a Texas fan, I would think, I don't want Tech ever again. I don't ever want to play Tech. I wouldn't want to play Baylor. TCU's a maybe and SMU's a maybe. The two skillet teams are a maybe. Those other two, I would say absolutely not. So I don't know. And then, oh man, you know what, Tej? Right? Come on. See, now we're just circus fans. Now you're just looking at it from a circus. Hey, if Tech's going to really step up, if McGuire's really the guy, if the money's flowing into Lubbock, come on now. Look, for the rest of us, I'm going to say this. For the rest of us college football fans that have ever watched y'all play, oh my God, I love that game. I do. I can't stand watching my team play Tech, but I love watching y'all do it. I really do. Because as much as Tech hates the Aggies, they special hate y'all. They special hate y'all. And I'd love to see those two teams get together, especially if Tech's going to be pretty good. Tech may, if they're up towards the top of the Big 12 this year, Texas, do you make that call? Tech, do you take that call? I don't know. I really don't know. But here's another idea, Tej, real quick, before we wrap here. But one of the ideas that I've always thought would work, and we got to figure out conference numbers here because, you know, we're unequal. I haven't done the full math of if this all works, but, you know, you're 16 in the SEC and you're 18 in the Big 10 and all those things. Or is it 20 now in the Big 10, whatever. But I've always liked the idea of what if you did a forced game, make your power game out of your control. Like literally say, all right, next year, like as we play this season, you say, okay, next year, let's go best on best. The number one team in the SEC is going to play number one in the Big 10. And you designate whether it's home and away, and then you just do that, the whole conference. One plays one, two plays two, three plays three. And if you want to stop it at some point because you have unequal numbers at the bottom, fine, whatever. But wouldn't that be interesting? Like if you're top 8, let's just stop there. If you're top 8 in the SEC, you have to play the top 8 in the Big 10. And you don't have the choice. 3 will be at, 3 is at Big 10. Number 4s will be at SEC, and alternate it. That's the kind of idea I would love to throw out. Because then if you do SEC Big 12, oh my God, you could end up with a forced Bedlam game, a forced Texas Tech game. Make Texas and Baylor play because they finished at the same spot the previous year. When the NFL started to do their thing, where, if you don't know, there's a couple games every year that's how it's determined. If you finish second in your division, you end up playing a couple teams that did the same thing, that finished second in their division. I would love if college football did that. That's just me. There we go. And yes, to Tyler, my bad. In the coaches poll, it is 1 versus 2. It is 1 versus 2, Tyler. There, we are judging it by the AP as a 1 versus 3. I am not letting the AP voters off of that. Here's a Texas fan answering the way I figured you would. No to Tech, TCU, SMU, Baylor. And Texas ADB, I would assume you mean no to those teams, but you would consider, you're okay with the UTEPs and UTSA and that kind of deal. That's what I'm assuming. Texas State, that's another one I'm interested in moving forward, not just because my kid is going to Texas State, because they're going to Pac-12 next year. Next year, it's this new version of the Pac-12. Will the Pac-12 be thrown into this thing where can you get away with it? Like they've got 8 teams that play football. Is there any way that they'll let SEC teams get away with, hey, can we call Oregon State? Have y'all checked the list? Oregon State, Washington State, Boise, Fresno State. Can you call one of those? I'd consider that a decent game. And Texas State with what Kenny's got going on? Yeah, absolutely. Now you're going to have to go to San Marcos. I think you do. We need to make them all home and homes. We need to make some home and homes, man. We got to get Texas going to places like Texas State. What kind of game would that be in San Marcos? That'd be so much fun. What do they put in there? 35? 38, 40,000 maybe. That would be cool. That would be cool. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, this would be good. Whoever has the best record or second best record in state, we should schedule. There you go. That's a weird idea. Yeah. So maybe you tell them to be that. Like if you tell Baylor, TCU, Tech, and SMU, if you finish at the same spot or higher in your conference than Texas does, then Texas will have to play you. They will have to take the call. That's a whole nother deal. Whole nother deal. All right. I think that is just about going to wrap it. We got most of the stuff covered. Catch again coming back from El Paso. We got a lot coming up, obviously, next week with game week cranking up. If you're out at TCH Social Austin today in the afternoon, say hello. I'm going to head over there and check some things out. We got that coming up. We got the show at Deep Eddy coming up next week, in case you haven't heard about that. I was out there yesterday checking out the technical side. The live event is Friday from 12 to 3. We're going to be out there with the show and then hanging out. I'm told one of the big bosses out at Deep Eddy really wants to talk to Catch about some Longhorn football. So we're going to definitely get all that done. That is coming up next Friday. Game week is coming. Y'all enjoy it. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and getting those notifications. It looks like we may hit 90,000 subscribers this weekend on the YouTube page. Thank you so much. And hey, jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the 9 conferences. Do you agree that Tennessee, I'm going into the comment section at some point tonight over the weekend. I'm going to suggest it. UT feels like the other one. Get rid of the Hogs, throw in some bright orange. That sounds like a great idea to me. Jump in the comment section. We appreciate you doing that. We're trying to get more active in the comment section on YouTube. It's a lot of fun to interact with you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for checking out the show today. Safe travels to Catch getting home. Happy birthday to my guy Bo Edge from The Outsiders. Check out that episode this week. We'll debut another one Tuesday at 10 next week. We might also have 2 Outsiders next week. We might be squeezing one in on like Friday morning to just get you extra pumped up for the game. So check all of it out at Orange Blood.